So it's 11 o'clock. We shall start the session. Very good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 270 webinar of our Saturday webinar series hosted by Managed Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship. Myself, Dr. Ahalya. I'm working as a Managed Fellow. So before going to the session, I would like to give a short brief about our center. So Managed Saturday webinar series has been at the forefront of this mission from since October 2020, hosting 269 consecutive weekly webinars that have inspired and empowered agripreneurs across the country. And this year marks 6 years of Manesia's remarkable journey in nurturing innovation and entrepreneurship in India's agriculture. Through these sessions, we have reached more than 50,000 participants and have been privileged to learn from more than 500 expert speakers who have guided, mentored, and transformed countless agricultural ventures. Our center has been at the cradle of innovation for 1,100 entrepreneurs, nurturing their dreams and transforming them into viable enterprises. We take immense pride in having supported 562 startups across diverse agriculture sectors, each contributing to the transformation of India's agriculture ecosystem. We offer holistic and human-centered approach to the entrepreneurship development, and we are committed to nurturing visions that contribute to the agriculture sustainability, rural development, farmer prosperity, and food security. And along with this, we are offering expert guidance and specialized training in crucial areas such as agro-processing, post-harvest technologies, value addition, farm mechanization, animal husbandry, fishery, commodity trading, supply chain management, and agri consultancy, ensuring that our entrepreneurs are equipped to tackle every challenge in their journey. And in today's session, we are going to focus on the theme called Building Strategic Partnership with Corporates and NGOs. It is honor to introduce our speakers for today's session. To invite our first speaker, I would like to call our managing intern Gauri.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Good morning to all. I am Gauri Javudi from Team Manage CIA. It is my honor to introduce today's speaker, Mr. Puran Singh Rajput, co-founder and COO of EF Polymer Private Limited, an innovative agri-tech startup that converts fruits and vegetable bio-waste into 100% organic super absorbent polymers called Fasal Amrit. They addresses key agriculture challenges such as water scarcity, soil degradation, and low productivity through sustainable, farmer-friendly solutions. Since 2018, EF Polymer has grown through a strong partnership with corporates, NGOs, FPOs, and agriculture universities and development agencies. Through this collaboration and CER linked distribution networks, they have reached farmers in water stressed regions, enabling the use of Fasal Amrit across 5,000 plus acres, beneficiating 3,000 plus farmers and saving over 3 billion liters of water. Their model reflects how partnership can scale climate smart innovations, perfectly aligning with the theme of today's webinar. With this brief introduction of Sir, I would like to hand over the session to him. Over to you, Sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Ralia and Gauri, for the invitation. It was my privilege to be in the session. Thank you, the Manage team. We are also having a few students to work with us as an intern for some of our projects. So it's always great to connect with the people and students where we are working together. Regarding the today's session, I'll briefly share my screen and uh, like try to build a connection between how we are able to leverage some of the NGO partnership specifically, because the topic itself is quite wide, so I kept the corporate partnership maybe for some another session. I think starting with if we say like why the need for the strategic partnership matters today. Uh, this is what it will align. Like most of the agriculture innovations, while they are fantastic at the laboratory or at the initial stage, but they are not able to cross the path where they can get the last mile impact or the scale because of the having solution which is not really uh, finding a shared value zone. This is where we have to focus as an innovators and as an entrepreneur, that the solutions we as a startup we are having some innovation, but the NGOs, those who are working with the last mile farmers from the last couple of years, or in some cases from the couple of decades, they have built unbreakable trust among the farmers and the rural community. So we have to come up with the innovation which is suitable with the NGO principle and their guideline, And then we need to explore the partnership with the corporates where we can go with the scale. Especially if we are a deep tech focused startup like EF Polymer, which take a lot of time, and then building the another solution or innovation again take a lot of time, like 5 to 7 years. So I think these are the core here. And for EF Polymer, what we are focusing, we have the innovation, but with the partnership, we are creating a lasting farmers impact. So briefly, if I talk about what actually innovation for us, the innovation that we have done is we name it Fasal Amrit. It is basically an 100% certified organic and biodegradable soil moisturizer, or we can say organic super absorbent polymer. What is actually do, it absorb the water, it store that water in the soil and then release it back to the plant. So for example, if we give the irrigation today, even it is a winter time, most of the farmers will need to do irrigation in next 12 to 15 or sometime 20 days. But if they use the Fasal Amrit, their water irrigation interval will be increased to 22 to 25 days. So that eventually reduces the water requirement. While water saving may not be very economical for the farmers, but as we know, India 68% area is drought affected, and then water is scarce there. So those farmers find it very useful to grow the crops which require slightly more water. With the limited water they are having, generally they need to restrict their farming practices with the millets or cereals or some pulses. But now they are able to grow some vegetables which require a higher water. Not only the water, but it also absorb the fertilizers. So the urea and DAP and other micro fertilizer that the farmers apply, generally they get leached out when the farmer doing the flood irrigation practice. So our product does absorb the water diluted fertilizer. It release back to the soil and the plant whenever needed. So essentially it is improving the fertilizers efficiency as well. We have scientific validations to establish that around 20 to 25% fertilizer can be reduced when it comes to the comparing with the required fertilizer dose for any given agriculture and soil practice. These are the brief impact that we have achieved so far. More than 3,700 metric ton of the bio waste that we have recycled. More than 2,500 million liters of water we have saved. Around 40,000 farmers directly or indirectly we have impacted, and more than 25,000 hectares of the land across the world in more than 10 plus country where we are working, we have covered. And our solution pretty much aligned with the some of the SDG goal, which is working on the life on the land, and then the water, and then circular economy, best practices, women empowerment. This kind of SDG alignment is there. So what does it actually mean when we have these kind of innovation, where we are able to get some climate environment impact as well as the impact for the rural community, especially farmer, which is most fragile one. And then there is a impact on the soil conservation and water conservation as well. Then it opened the door for us to collaborate with the NGOs and the corporate. So what essentially we do with the NGOs, that we does not become just a innovator or solution provider. We become a co-owner of the impact along with the NGOs. What we try to do is the first identifying the problems, what a specific NGO is trying to do. As we see in India, I'm not sure, but there are uh, very high number of NGOs focusing on different objectives. Some of them are into the education, into the health, into the rural empowerment, into women empowerment. Some are into the soil water conservation. So we very strategically we decide what specific NGO is what they are doing, identifying the region where we can provide our support. If we need to be a co-owner for the impact, then we have to also have our ground presence. So we can't be working with the some NGOs where we do not go there and support them. We identify the region, we identify the crops, the water stress, the farmers profile, and then set some measurable KPIs along with the NGOs. As a next step, what we propose them is to start with some like a few acres of the demo or the pilot, where the NGO come forward, they identify the progressive farmers among the group of farmers they are targeting. We initiate the trainings, we help those farmers understand what our technology is, how they need to use it, and what are the expected benefit for the farmers. And then we also consult with the NGOs, like what are the expected benefit for an NGO as well. It may not be monetary benefit or economical benefit, but in terms of an NGO getting a solution which enable them to target more and more farmers. Then the training capacity building happen. We rigorously monitor and evaluate how our project is going on. And with this detailed report, NGO also get access to lot of data and pitch this to the other funders or the higher management within the NGO. And then we keep scaling up, not only with the NGO but also with the local partners, the small FPOs, the small dealers, the village entrepreneurs. We onboard them, we work with them. So the idea is to not depend on the NGOs or the any individual organizations, because we don't consider them as a channel. They are a entry gate for us to enter into the farmers geography, build trust, the trust the NGO has built over the decades or over the years. With this trust, we show them this is the technology, this is how it works, these are the benefits. If they receive and they confirm, okay, this is what we are getting, then we try to commercialize gradually. So it is a journey of, I would say, a couple of years it takes. Initially, starting with the first year demos and those happen. Second year, little large scale pilot happen. Third year is commercialization, is what we have said. Here, this is a case study that one of the NGO partner called Farm Bridge from Gujarat. Uh, they have been doing a fantastic work, especially in Bharuch and Vadodara region. So one of our professor introduced to the person who founded this NGO in Gujarat, and they are working with the smallholder farmers in Bharuch and Vadodara region. So when we pitched our solution back in 2021, we explained and they find, okay, this is quite a good solution because water scarcity is there, soil is degraded, and they are having some of the initiative where they need to target that farmers should be growing more a better crop instead of just relying on one crop in a year. They wanted to push it to the two crop at least in a year. So what they did, they started with 5 to 10 acre of pilot. It helped them to showcase some of the germination improvement, especially for the summer season, because the farmers earlier practice was to grow cotton in the May to June, and then harvest them into December, January. And because in the summer there is not enough water, they are leaving the land empty. So what this NGO did, they promoted farmers with our technology to encourage them to start growing sesame, which does not require a huge water, but with the one or two irrigation, they would be able to do the farming with our product. So that happened. Then they increase the pilot size. Uh, Farmers got even more interested. So what they come with the innovative step, as in like they ask farmer to contribute into the product as well. So whatever the product cost for the farmer, the 50% they have to pay. So the 50% remaining funding they expanded with to other farmers as well. And that not only helped them to onboard more and more farmer, but also encouraged some of the other funders to provide more funding for the impact, because with this solution they are able to double the farmers income. So these kind of value and objectives we were able to set with the NGOs and find this very great collaboration. So with them today we are working with like every year 5 to 7,000 new farmers we are able to aid with them. Similarly, I think this is a more larger level collaboration that we have done with the Buy of India. I'm not sure if lot of you are aware, but BIOF is considered to be one of the largest NGO in the country, and primarily they were focused into the dairy and animal husbandry. But from last couple of I would say couple of decade, they have been focusing on agriculture as well. They have their own research centers across the country. So what we did, we started from Udaipur, where we find their regional office. And since we are also from Udaipur, so the person in charge was kind enough to support the local innovation. After this local intervention, they submitted the report to the higher management in Pune. Then they proposed, okay, we need to do the scientific validation. So we again spent around 2 to 2.5 years with them to give a full freedom that this is our solution, and now it is up to you guys to however you want to test it scientifically. They organized multiple crop trials. After those trials of 2 years, they got a very high confidence, and now they put in almost all the project across the bio. They are putting our product under their project. And why this? Because they are bio is working on two major objectives. One is water conservation. The second is NRM, natural resource management, which is specifically focused on the soil conservation. Both of the objective, the milestone they want to achieve are pretty much aligned with the our solution. Hence, they are able to include our technology into their project. So today, with the help of Bayef, we are entered into 10 to 12 state. And as I said, this is not just a channel for us, as we are considering this as an entry point, and then we gradually partner with the FPOs and the dealers locally available. So these are the two case studies, which I hope is very helpful for you guys to understand how we can leverage the partnership with the NGOs. And last but not the least, I mean, what we can learn as an for the students and the entrepreneurs, as I said, like the shared value is the foundation. Irrespective of how great is your solution, a partner has to get a clear message or clear understanding of what they will be getting. And then NGOs and these kind of organizations do not consider them as in your sales channel. These are as an entry point. They are someone who can help you to get the initial set of farmers. But then it's our duty that we commercialize our solution there. Also, the scientific data matters a lot. Nowadays, there are many small companies coming up. While most of them are doing reasonably good with the scientific validation and testing, but some of them not really having this kind of testing. So sometimes it happens that farmers get the wrong product, and that's where NGO becoming more cautious. So we have to get the scientific data to work with the NGOs. And for the NGOs, I think they have to really assess like how Biofs did and the Farm Bridge did in our case, starting with the small, not rejecting the innovators or the innovation that it is not useful. It will start with the very small geography, whatever feasible, and then see if it is really making sense for them in terms of taking this to the next step. So I think I would conclude my presentation here and open for any question and answer later after I think Rishabh sir present his part.
Yeah, thank you, Parun sir, for the excellent presentation. Thanks for letting us to know why strategic partnerships are essential today, especially when agriculture is facing the challenges such as water stress and soil health decline and climate volatility. It's also great to know how startups bring innovation, NGOs brings trust and last mile reach, and corporates bring scale and resources gave us a very meaningful perspective. And your explanation of the partnership model from problem mapping and co-design pilots to the training, monitoring, and commercial scale-up helps us to understand better think about this topic. So thank you once again for sharing your experience and showing how innovation combined with a strong partnership can create lasting farmer impact. So the participants, if you have any questions regarding the session, you can keep in chat box and also you can raise your hand. So the questions will be taken up after the second speaker presentation. So Puran sir, kindly wait. We will take up the questions after the second speaker presentation. So to introduce our second speaker, I would like to call our managing intern Ishika Gautam.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, everyone. I'm Rishika Gautam from Team Manage CIA. It's my honor to introduce next speaker, Mr. Rishabh Chaudhary, co-founder of SoFood. Sir is an experienced professional with a strong background in the food and beverages industry and holds BTech and MTech degrees in polymer engineering from the Institute of Chemical Technology. He brings rich expertise in material science, polymers, plastics, nanotechnology, and entrepreneurship, and has been leading product innovation and business development at SoFood for the past 12 years. In addition, he also serves as the head of products at Soul Agro Enterprise, contributing to technology-driven solutions in the agri-food sector. With this brief introduction, I would now like to hand over the session to Sir. Over to you, Sir.
Thank you, Ishika. Thank you, Manage team, for inviting me here to present. Let me just share my screen so that it's easier. Just a second. Yeah. Is my screen visible to all?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, yeah. So let me just give a brief idea about what I do and what we would be going through in this presentation. So Food is a company that initially started off by working to prevent post-harvest losses at farmer end. Then we pivoted more towards the marketing side of things. So one of our key product that we are offering is sprouts with a shelf life of 12 months without any additives or preservatives. This is something we are able to achieve using dehydration as a technology, and it's something new, kind of a new thing in the Indian market when we started off. And while you are trying to introduce something new to a market, you might feel that it's easier that, okay, I have done something innovative, let me just do it myself. Truth be told, from my experience, uh, yeah, that let me answer the questions later on. So, truth be told, it's very difficult to do anything alone. The best thing is to work with the system that we already have. It makes for a better reach, and sometimes we are able to understand things that requires us some bit of experience to do. So over a period of time, we have developed a framework of sorts, which helps us in designing how we are going to go ahead with different corporates, NGOs, and startups. So initially, we were working a lot with the NGOs, but over a period of time, we pivoted towards corporate and startups for a better market reach because we are more on the marketing side of things. So initially, reaching to corporates is always a bit difficult. So we started off by working with different startups to create a validation of sorts for corporates to come along with us. As an example, corporates that we are working with right now includes firms like Country Delight. You, we are in talks with PepsiCo, Nestle, Semega, and in terms of startup, we have worked with at least 4+ Shark Tank featured funded startups, which includes Gladfull, Naturec, Reheja Foods, and others. And Uncle Peter Pancake, we are in about to close. So while going through this process, I would be using examples related to be it Country Delight or Gladfull, who are because Mr. Puran rightly covered the NGO aspect of things. So this is very similar to what Mr. Puran said when he was talking about the NGO side, but I feel this framework works with every domain. The framework of aligning, designing, governing, delivering, and evolving. So these are the 5 steps that we need to focus while we are looking for any partnership. And another aspect of things is which comes before aligning is how we get connected to them. And I feel Manage has been a very good source for us to connect with different people in the ecosystem. Similarly, there are other conferences where you can interact, but after you connect, the most important thing is to align with the startup. So when we are aligning with a, let's start with a startup per se, because most of us over here are in early stages of our career. So just moving on to a corporate would be slightly difficult. So when we are talking about aligning with a startup, we should try to find startups that are complementing to our capabilities. Like in our case, we decided that we are into the sprouts domain, which is a healthy food segment. So we reached out and interacted with most of the startups who are looking at the healthy food domain, where we would be taking care of the whole production aspect of things, the manufacturing and all, and brands that are good at branding aspects would be looking at the branding aspect of things. That's how we started. Like one of the startup we work with, Gladfull or Beat Nature, both got 3 Shark deal and 5 Shark deal at Shark Tank. So their founders, Sahil and Parul. They have extensive FMCG experience related to branding and marketing, but we associated with them for the marketing aspect of things. So we have to find complementing capabilities. Be if we are more into agri startups, be it somebody developing IoT sensors or somebody looking at, say, like Mr. Puran's water based water retention technology. So they can work together per se. Focusing on the market expansions, like recently we are working with a QSR chain. Basically, QSR chain is looking at selling their cooked products to the players, and we have an expertise in making long shelf life packaged foods. So we are working with them to bring out their packaged food range. So that's how we work with. It's easier to start with a startup, but once you gain a bit of recognition, the corporate starts approaching you. Like, obviously you need to be connected with them at different conferences, be in touch with them, and let them know what you are doing. But after a point of time, I think there was some net issue at my end.
Yes, sir. You can switch off your video, sir, otherwise.
Just a second. Let me just give me a second. It was a multiple screen setup. There was some issue. Just a second. Just a second. Sharing it again. Is it visible again?
Yes, sir, visible.
Yeah. So once you have a bit of recognition while working with startups and NGOs, it would be easier for you to work with corporates. Like, we have been trying to approach Simega and Country Delight for the past 4 years, saying that we do have a synergy, but when we are initially pitching them, they do have a set of doubts. Will we be able to deliver it, or will it be will it have a customer acceptance or something like that? But after we have shown validation with Gladful, Naturic, Country Delight actually started working with us a year back, where we saw that the kind of products that they are trying to offer, the healthy products that they are trying to offer their customers, is aligning with us. Similarly, we are in talks with HealthCart and other corporates. So we are basically in phase of aligning with them. And in case of Country Delight, we have gone through the whole journey. Just a second. Yeah. The second aspect is the designing aspect of things. Basically, once you know that your value aligns, that thing that you're trying to reach, the product you are trying to bring out, or the way you're trying to cater to a particular market is aligning with them, you need to see how you would design the whole model of the way you would be working with them. Be it joint venture, be it swaps. Equity swaps, I won't recommend the initial stages, but I know friends in the industry who have done that with other startups. And the thing is, it helps us reduce our R&D cost and market reach. So what happens is, like, for players like us, we are able to develop a product, but we need consumer feedback. So we are working with other companies who have their focus groups ready. So we don't have to incur the cost related to the focus groups. That is something that they are incurring, and we are just developing the product, and it's getting tested, getting market validated a lot faster. And when we are talking about corporates, it's white label deal, or when, like, something you have innovated a new stuff, but you have to create a market around it. So selling something in the market is difficult, but creating a market of something that is completely new is even more difficult. So if a corporate validates it, it's easier. So like in our case, Country Delight has launched sprouted lentil based chila, and they are in talks for other products. So you you get a bigger market reach. It gives a bigger market for you to test the things out, and they usually takes care of the distribution, the funding. Like while we have tried out, we can reach an X amount of players in a single day or a single week via marketing campaign. Just a single post by Country Delight reach a lot of people. So it's easier for us, for our technology to go forward, but obviously you would be working with a corporate owner. They would have their shares involved in it, like they would be creating the brand. But sometimes it's way difficult to create a brand at the start by your own, and it's more important, like for us, to create the technology background first, to create a market segment first, and then become a leader in it. Yeah, once you have designed the system, the most important the next important step is governing the agreements. Like corporates would be talking about the NDAs or your regular, basically agreements of how the products are moving. You need to have regular sessions, meetings related to the business oversight. Is it viable for you to just be locked with a particular player, be exclusive with them, or not? So these kind of things comes late, and as the next important step. It's easier with the startups, but make sure you're working with the founder, because the way it varies a lot when you're working with somebody in the team as compared to a founder. So whenever working with a startup, make sure you are working with the founder. It's easier to steer the direction when you are working with the founder. And the most important thing is you should have regular sessions related to the milestones, and the iteration is a lot faster in a startup. So like we have to change a few ingredients in one of our product. A similar step in a startup would take us weeks, whereas while working with a corporate, it took us 4 months. So uh, with startup, that's easier. So when you're in the initial stages, when you're trying to find a ground for your product, it's better to work with startups because you can do rapid iteration. And once you have the final product, it's better to work with the corporate because of the reach. And you should have processes set, like how you would address the different integration issues, how to work collaboratively. This is something that comes under the governing stages. Once you have done the aligning, designing, governing part, it comes to the delivery aspect of things. When you're delivering the product, like Mr. Puran discussed about the NGO aspect, they were talking about the market reach, the beneficiary reach, number of farmers, or number of water preserved. Similarly, when you're working with startups and corporates, you have to look at few different KPIs. Be it how well your product is getting integrated with their product. Is it working well or not? If you are trying to sell it as a bundle, is the customer preferring the bundle or individual buying? How's the user experience between the with you? Like, because it's a user is working with a single entity, but there are two entities that are working to cater to the consumer. So the user experience is good or not? Is the system performing? And again, we need to learn fast from any issues that arises during the startup stage. And when you're working with corporate, then the financial aspect of things becomes paramount. Like customer acquisition cost is how much, is it benefiting both you and the corporate, is the margin being divided pretty well, conversion cost of each corporate, is it meeting your expectation? These things are something that you need to look at as a key performance metrics, which would help you in basically evolving, which is the next step. So when you're when we have gotten a market validation, you need to evolve. When you're working with startups, it can mean merging capabilities, forming strategic alliances, like we are working with a QSR band, or for that matter, at this point of time, we have started taking initial money from other startups and all to work with us, so we can build our own capabilities better. So, like the startups that we are working with, they have actually helped us in procuring our machine with and cash advance. Similarly, while we are working with corporates, they have helped us with different connections, and basically a corporate actually helped us in acquiring another brand that they are working with. So there was a brand called Happy Jar. We were able to acquire their machinery because the corporate that we are working with helped us in connecting the both of us. So this so the approach we have talked till now, it's something that's not just dependent on, say, corporate working, startup working, or NGOs. It is something which is a modular approach which can work, which is pretty sector agnostic. Like, I have used this thing in the agri domain as well as in the food domain that we have worked with, and it is pretty flexible because most of the thing arises after we have aligned ourselves. So it becomes a flexible approach, and hope so that this is pretty helpful for you guys in just having a mind map of how to go about with things. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rishabh sir, for the presentation. Thanks for highlighting the importance of co-designing partnership models and establishing agreements and managing risk and setting up clearly KPIs for pilots. The way you explained how corporate partnerships drive scales and how NGO partnerships build trust and impact, and how startups partnership accelerate innovation gave our participants a complete understanding of the ecosystem. So thank you once again for sharing practical frameworks and field tested wisdom that will help startups navigate the partnership with clarity and confidence. So the participants, if you have any questions regarding the two sessions, you can keep in chat box and also you can raise your hands. So Puran sir, hope you are also available.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Yeah.
available.
Yeah. So Mrudul has raised the hand. I'll unmute Mrudul. Mrudul, are you there?
Am I audible to you?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, first of all, thanks so much, managed team, for this wonderful webinar. Just want to ask a question to the Puram sir, the first speaker. Actually, we are Agribusiness and I'm a co-founder of a startup, and we are working in that field of technology, mind solution like AI, GIS, artificial search to the farmer in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Maharashtra. The major concern we face in the last 3 years to collab with the FPOs, NGOs, foundations, or the stakeholders in this field. So I just want to ask to Puram sir how to approach them and how to convince them that our technology and our work we are doing, what help would provide to farmers and FPOs is very satisfactory and which it will enhance the quality, aerial production, seen of their FPOs or foundation or NGOs.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mridul. So I think as I briefly covered in the presentation, first you need to understand who are the NGOs or the corporates working in that particular direction. The NGOs or the corporates working in promoting the IoT among the farmers, or let's say just focusing on addressing some of the core problem for the farmers. For example, we are closely working with BIOF, and I visited their Satara Farmers Network, where they intervened, introduced some of the this what we call yellow blue light some setup which emit the different colors of the lights in the night time to attract the insect. And this is a kind of like a natural or we can say sustainable approach, while not putting the chemical pesticides. With this light, they just put the water on the tub, and then this insect get attracted and it get collect in the bucket. And while this is not very closely related to the IoT or the your innovation, but this is something you need to prove that this technology is working and it already backed by some scientific reason. So if your IoT setup is capable of, let's say, enabling farmers to use the less pesticide or use the less agri input, be it water, be it fertilizer, I think you have to get some scientific data and then identify the right NGO or corporate who is working in that direction and then pitch to them.
Can I ask something, sir?
Yes.
Actually, we started working with the FPOs in the Madhya Pradesh. I think it's
Okay.
thousands of farmers.
Uh-huh.
There's a consortium which guides and gives funds to the FPOs to go for the smooth working.
Right.
We collab with that consortium for the FPOs, with like 10 FPOs we are working, and number countable is 5,000 farmers. But
Okay.
the part of our working profile that we call to the farmer regarding their pest, upcoming pest infestation and disease infestation, irrigation, weather, everything. But
Right.
the farmers are not interested to talk with our team, our telecaller team, our expertise team. So how to convince them or how to believe the farmer? Because if your CEO can convince you, you can convince them. You can say because they are so aware about technology. But the farmers who are truly rural-based and desi farmer in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, so
Mm-hmm.
how to convince, how to boost them to use at least our application at least once in a week, or talk to the telecaller experts in their particular farming field or anything it may be.
Okay. I think this is the problem for all the agri-tech startups, including us also. We also face the similar challenge, but and it cannot be solved overnight, right? At least in my knowledge, there is no such a process or the strategy or approach we are able to identify, which ensure that all the farmers are interested and talking to us. What we are doing exactly is we identify some of the farmers, the progressive farmers or the farmers who are really interested. So let's say we go to the village, which is around 70, 80, or 100 families. Then we try to identify what are those two, three, or four families or the four farmers who are very interested and keen toward this kind of new innovation. And they are able to connect over the phone, even at an alternative or daily basis in our case. The second thing which also worked well for us is a local connection. So whenever we hire a salesperson, we focus on how strong is the local network, the farmers network he is getting to us. That actually enable a lot because that person, let's say he worked in last 5 years only with those set of farmers. Then the 5 years trust and the network is coming to us, and then these farmers are very close to that particular salesperson, so they are more willing to collaborate and support this kind of initiative. So I would suggest, while not all the farmers will be interested, you have to identify some of the farmers, work very closely with them and validate and demonstrate the technology is working, and then uh, get the benefit calculated in monetary terms. Once the other farmer also able to see, because of this IoT setup, XYZ farmer who follow the uh, he or she able to get X amount of additional income, then I think more farmer will be definitely interested.
Sorry, sir, I'm just making it longer. But I just want to add one more thing here.
Yeah,
On our application that we have developed an AI-based model in which farmer can ask any question, just scan the leaf sample to get to know of disease, its
right.
management. Also, they can order online medicine. But
Okay,
still, they are not interested or still not so too much affectionate toward this technology because it will help them. They just type on the mic and ask question or
right,
type it. But still, we are struggling to. If we propose this feature to 10 farmers, only two will get connected or one will get connected. Yeah, we will use. So that's also a major hurdle to technology to attract technology to the farmers, in, especially in the MPCG farmers we are working.
right. I think this goes back to more like how you can bring the communities together. So once you get those initial few farmers who tested and validated your technology in terms of the economical benefit, then you have to make them as a, champion farmers, and then organize a meetings. So when the other farmers who have not used or followed the instruction, they see a certain farmers got additional benefit, which has to be significant, then the farmers will definitely take interest. And sometime while farmer is interested, but the interference or the network availability is not there. So if you say they need to take the photograph and then send it over, see, farmers are not like the people like us who is sitting on the cell phone or mobile phone and laptop and very tech savvy. They have very limited knowledge. The maximum in my knowledge, most of the farmers are very flexible with the WhatsApp. Even though they do not know how to type, so what they generally do is directly call or directly send a voice note. The voice note is becoming a very popular among the rural farming community. So you have to figure it out if your same solution can be come on the WhatsApp channel. So if they send the photograph on the WhatsApp channel, then it photograph goes back to your data and cloud and analysis and give the suggestion on WhatsApp itself, which is not in the written but is more on the audio form, because farmer a lot of farmer are not able to read as well, but they can listen and they can understand, as long as if it is in Hindi or the local language, if you can make. So some, I think, technological innovation improvement you also need to do, and this you will be getting to know after closely working with the farmer only. What I shared may not be the exact problem farmers are having, and because of that, they may not be interested. So, farmer is the person who will let you know, like, why they are not interested. Is there not enough clarity in terms of the economical benefit, or is there an initial very high capital cost they need to invest, or if there a language barrier, or if there is a technological barrier in terms of operating your app or something like this.
Uh, so I'll take up next question. So there is a question from Mishka Gautam. How
Mhm.
should legal agreements be structured to protect startup interest in such collaborations? I think Rishabh sir and Puran sir, anyone can talk about.
I think what I would suggest best to have a legal advisor, right? Because most of the early stage startup always ignore having a legal advice. So it won't take much time. Just come across a general template and then have somebody try to negotiate with that legal advisor the cost which is fit your budget, and then try to see if, let's say, for in our case, we sign a lot of distributorship agreement with the FPOs and dealers, and that happens. We have a standard template which is non-negotiable. However, it is being consulted with the some of the industry leaders and the dealers and the FPOs. So we make it more general. So whenever we need to onboard as a distributor or dealer, the template, there's no change accepted. They just need to fill their details and it gets signed. But when it comes to the very specific arrangement, we involve our legal advisor from the initial discussions. So yeah, it depends on case by case basis, but I think the legal advice you must be considering.
And
So
I would
Rishabh
like,
sir, yeah,
yeah, I would
yeah,
like to add a few points. So, like Mr. Puran covered a lot of it, but I would say always try to make sure if you're working within another startup, it's not restrictive. So you should have a freedom to work with other startup under certain conditions. Like, and if the deal looks like they are trying to restrict you with exclusivity, then it should make sense for you commercially to do it. So even there should be an exit clause in it. Like, if you aren't able to meet, or if they aren't able to meet a particular target, be it sales target, collaboration target, and it's not going according to the plan that you have, you should be able to exit properly. And there should be a clear distinction on who owns the intellectual rights on a particular product. So with these two distinction, a proper exit clause, because when you're trying to work with an initial startup at the very beginning, you don't know the scale at which it would pick up or it won't. So there should be a defined exit clause in it, which you need to work in tandem with the other founder. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So I'll unmute Srinivas. Srinivas?
Hello. Yeah, hi. Hi, madam. Madam. Thank you. Sir, Rishabh sir, it's a very good session right now. It's very useful for us also. We are actually from Hyderabad and we are into food startup. We are struggling with the shelf life for 12 months. Currently, whatever we are making, that food is a liquid food, okay, which is a ready to cook item. That is required only fridge for up to 3 months. After that, if I wanted to use in normal condition, then it is very difficult to sustain in normal temperature or room temperature levels. So we wanted to improve the shelf life up to 12 months so that we can easily do the transportation wherever we want and all. So we are stuck at here in the shelf life part. So I need your guidance on the how to improve the shelf life up to 12 months.
Just a question. So is it a dehydrated product or is it a wet product? Like, what's the
It's a
moisture
wet
content of it?
product, sir. It's a wet product only.
Okay, then I think it would be a long discussion. So you can connect me
Okay.
offline, but I can give you a few pointers. So, like, the technology that we are using for shelf life improvement is based around dehydration. So when you're
Oh,
talking
okay.
about dehydration, it can range from be it solar dehydration, tray dryers, fluidized bed dryers, or heat pump dryers,
Right.
or for that
Right.
matter, freeze dryer. So the kind of
Okay.
product that you have and the kind of margins you would have based on dehydration. So, like, everybody knows freeze drying is the best method, but will it
Right.
fit your product or not? Do you need to go to solar drying? So, and what how the product behaves after dehydration. So there are few nitty-gritties around it, and I think you can take my number. I think Rahalia would share it.
Sure,
Please
sir, sure.
free, feel free to share it, and we can connect offline, and I can give you pointers regarding the same. But I personally use dehydration as a technology. Besides that, there are other retort treatment and other technologies which can be used based on the product type. So we need to understand the product, the reason it is getting spoiled. Is it bacterial or is it nutritional degradation? What's happening? We need to understand that. So
Okay.
let's connect offline because it would be a long
Yes,
discussion.
sir. Yes, sir. Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Srinivas. Yeah, Mithilesh Singh. Hello, Mithilesh.
Thank you, ma'am. My question with Rishabh sir. Sir, I have a FPO, Agri Farmer Producer Company Limited in Varanasi. Recently, we have some member of honey producers. They got our membership. When I come to know about their problem and associated thing, then we started selling honey. So at present, sir, we have a range of honey, monofloral honey. We want some develop some kind of infused honey. We have pollen, propolis, bee venom, and all these thing is there. At present, sir, I need connection with the large players like you and the other uh, food body so that I can sell my farmers product to them directly. It is quality is very good. Moisture content is as per government regulation, and I am myself a food graduate, so I can understand the quality constraint. So,
Yeah, nice question, Mithilesh. This is actually one of the biggest problems and question when it arises on collaboration and collaboration with other people. So the thing is, like, in you can definitely reach out to me. I can connect you to players whom I feel is right. Like, for FPO purposes, there are different agencies like FarmMart, S4S that are already working in taking the product and making it commercial. Other way is to work with different startups. Like you said, you are working, you have an expertise of honey, you have a nice source, you can develop it in a normal, say, honey sticks kind of a method. So there are already few startups that are having those honey sticks, like just a small stick, which single serve stick which can take out honey. But at the
Yes.
same time, you can be a supplier to most of them. You can see which startups can actually migrate to that particular category. So like there can be a tea based startup which is already doing your dip teas and other. You can reach out to them, be it at World Food India, Ahar, these kind of conferences, or just no harm in just pinging them up and talking to them. Like one of my present client just came across me while searching, called me up, and we interacted. Within 3 months, we have launched a product with them. So just reach out to complementing brands, be it tea, or for that matter, if you are talking about somebody trying to develop a product on the lines of Kapiva, so health health nutrition infused honey or something on those lines. So
Mhm.
you can reach out to such startups and do visit Ahar and World Food India, these kind of places, and talk to different founders, because asking you to directly reach out to, say, Country Delight or Milk Basket or these players would be a big task, because you don't have an experience to work with another entity first. So try reaching out to different founders in complementing field.
Sure, sir. I will do. Sir, I have registered my brand name with the Pure State, and I launch some of my packet like from 50 gram to 1 kg range.
Mm.
People are loving it. Like they are asking more about what is the monofloral honey, how it is good, and they are taste is very nice. It is raw and unpasteurized, so they have the natural taste they are getting. At present, Varanasi Tamil Sangamam is going on in Varanasi from Banaras University. They have given my stall there. So usually in evening time, I put my stall there. They taste it and they appreciate it. Good feedback is coming. So thank you,
Oh,
sir. I will
nice.
definitely connect with this tea bag manufacturer. Please make me some connection also, sir. It is
Yeah,
from the
sure.
case.
And one important thing, like you already have a brand, so, and if it's a regional brand, okay, just try reaching out to your regional players as well for a co-branded product. So
Okay.
टी के साथ instead of their honey, just try pitching कि आप अपना एक इतने ग्राम honey साथ में free दे रहे हो at a lower cost. Like just try to make sure it is moving. Customer acquisition cost के अंदर consider करो इसे. Think it's a customer acquisition cost and just try giving out samples along with a complementing product first under your brand name. If your brand name doesn't work and you need a bit of volume, then it's better to just try giving your product in other brand. But if you have started your brand, try looking for co-branding opportunities.
Yeah. So one more question from Gauri, Manage Intern. What key factors should early stage startups focus on while collaborating with the uh, NGOs and corporates?
Okay, before Mr. Puran jump in, let me just give my two
Yeah,
bits.
yeah.
Yeah. So the key factor is aligning of values. What, like y- it's like not necessarily everybody would be working towards the same goal as you are, but is their goal and your goal aligning in some way or another, and you have to make sure that it is beneficial for them. Like before thinking of your benefit while pitching, you have to make sure that this is how I can help you. Then it's easier as compared to saying that collaborate with me, it would help me in xyz manner. Always say that okay, this is something that aligns with your values and this is how I can add on to it. Show them the benefit of working with you.
Yeah. Puran sir, you want to add anything? Hello, Puran sir.
Yeah, sorry, I got some urgent call, so I was not aware about the question.
Yeah.
If somebody can repeat it.
Yeah, the question is what key factors should early stage startups focus on while collaborating with the corporates and NGOs?
Sorry, what? I'm not able to get it. Is it written in the chat?
Yeah, it's written in the chat. This Gauri is asking what key factors should early stage startups focus on while collaborating with the NGOs and corporates?
I think see it briefly little bit it depends on where the stage of the startup. So, for example, when we were at the very early stage, we just had develop our technology at the laboratory scale. We collaborated. I mean, not kind of collaborated, but we applied for a startup accelerator program, which was from Social Alpha, supported by Gates Foundation and Tata Trust. And the program was to help the entrepreneurs or the startups who develop the technology at the laboratory scale, but awaiting to prove this into the or enter into the initial set of target customer. So we applied for that program and fortunate enough to get selected. And with that, we kicked off our first large scale pilot of 150 acres, around like 200 farmers in Bundelkhand. So it depends, like where the startups stage is and what kind of support they are looking for. There are already these kind of program. Even today, also like for this year, we are a part of Design Impact Award. This is a Titan CSR project, which is focusing on water conservation. So we are doing that project in Jaisalmer, where we cannot imagine going alone because the land and the climate is very fragile. Farmers are only growing one crop, but we are motivating them to grow two crops this year with the help of our technology. So it depends basically. And yeah, I think the NGOs partnership again with the starting with some really regional local NGOs to get the support and the validation, and then gradually going with the bigger one. That could be the right approach. Albert.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So thank you participants for all your questions. So it's we are going behind the time, so we have to conclude the session. So still, if you have any questions regarding the session, you can reach out to the speakers. The speaker details are given in the chat box. You can contact them. And also, if you want to watch this webinar again, the YouTube link to watch the full session is also given in the chat box. You can rewatch it, and also to stay updated on upcoming events and programs and exciting opportunities from the manage. Be sure to follow us on our social media handles. Along with this, I have few important things to update. The registration links for the Manacia pre-incubation mentoring program and digital marketing applications are open. You can apply for it. And along with this, Manage Stakeholder Connect program is going to organize at the ICR Central Institute of Agriculture Engineering, Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. So this program will help startups connect with all the relevant agriculture stakeholders on a single platform. So the registration link is also given in the chat box. You can register for it. And before in concluding the session, I would like to thank Puran sir and Rishabh Chowdhury sir for excellent presentation on this topic. And also I would like to thank our director, Dr. Saranandra sir, for organizing this webinar. And also I would like to thank entire Manacia team for their efforts in organizing this today's webinar. Finally, don't forget to share your feedback. The feedback link is given in the chat box, and also do register for the upcoming webinar. And see you next week with another exciting topic. Thank you all. Thank you, Rishabh sir, and thank you, Puran sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Rahelia.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.